Hey friends, and welcome to the Mind and Body Strong podcast, a place for women to redefine their relationship with food and their bodies, tune into their inner wisdom, and become the best version of themselves. I'm your host, Katie Pichanowski, a health and mindset coach, intuitive eating and health at every size advocate, nap queen, and bookworm. Join me each week for empowering conversations, stories, and actual steps to help you master your mindset and drop the obsession around food and your body so you can love the skin you're in. I can't wait to guide you towards unlocking your highest potential. And that journey starts right now. Let's jump in. Welcome, friends, to another episode of the Mind and Body Strong podcast. This episode is going to be a continuation of tools and frameworks to help you really achieve your New Year's resolutions in 2020. I know we're still in 2019. We are headed out of 2019 into a new year, and I want to give you more frameworks to help you really make 2020 the best and achieve all of those amazing dreams that you have inside, okay? So today's episode is all about clearing out the clutter. As you probably saw from the title, we are clearing out the clutter. You've always heard that term or that phrase is what I'm trying to say of you have to get rid of the old before you bring in the new, right? So imagine you're trying to renovate your living room. You're trying to bring in new furniture. Well, it'd be a hot mess if you just kept all the old furniture that you already had in that space and tried to bring in the new, because there wouldn't be enough space for the new stuff and it would just be overwhelming and you wouldn't know how to move things and you don't have any room to move around, right? The same thing happens when we're making changes in our life, in our career, in our health, in our relationships, right? We can't start bringing in that new until we clear out the old. And clearing out the clutter in your life, and I'm going to give you 3 different ways that you can clear out the clutter in your life, is really going to help you get on track emotionally, energetically, and physically to make these amazing transformations that you want to make for yourself. Are you so excited? This has been huge for my success and my clients' success, is really just clearing out the clutter, removing those expectations, and just helping to bring in this new amazing energy to achieve anything that they want. Okay, so this is going to be super great. This is something I actually started to do years ago. And the first place that you're going to clear out the clutter is your environment. I started to do this back when I lived in Colorado a few years ago. I started to just get rid of physical clutter that was around. I had started to just have all of this stuff around me, so many extra clothes I didn't wear, all of this stuff around me. And I finally was just like, I need to clear this out. And clearing physical clutter actually really helps to clear your mind, believe it or not, because you don't have as many things to worry about where they are. If your environment is clean, you feel like you can focus and you know where things are because you don't have as much, right? So this is something that I've been really great at over the years, is I really don't have extra stuff. I have all the things I need, of course, plenty of extra, but I've really gotten good at not holding on to things that I just really don't need. If I've ever find myself saying, am I going to need this at some point? I just get rid of it because I know that the universe will provide me the abundance to purchase that again or to have that thing again if I so happen to need it. So I don't need to hold on to it right now if I have no use for it, okay? So clearing out your environment. I really like to have my clients start with a room in their house that they spend the most time in, because clearing out that physical environment is going to give you so much more space to be able to focus on the changes that you're trying to make. I have one of my clients who chose to clear out the closets recently, and she took it one closet at a time. And it was so cool to see how having a clean environment like that just helped her energy go up so much. I remember her talking about this at the beginning of our session and saying, I cleaned out the closets. And a week or so ago, she said, I woke up and my room was clean, and I might not have had everything put away, but I had like piles of things where I knew where they were. And I woke up and I was able to just know where things were. I could just grab the clothes I needed and I could go about my morning and get things done. And I thought that was so amazing. And you could just tell by the way she was describing this experience that her energy was up, and that energy was going to be able to be plugged into so many other areas of her life because she cleared up her physical environment. It's so amazing how that works. So take a look at a room in your house. A lot of us, it's either like the kitchen or the living room where you spend a lot of time. Maybe it's your room. So take a look around and see what you can get rid of. Something that's really fun to do too is if you have a lot of like maybe furniture or just, I know that I had a bunch of weights at one point that I sold, and there was a bunch of other things that I had at the time, clothes, purses, extra shoes that I started selling on Facebook Marketplace. So you can actually start to clear out your environment and even give yourself some extra cash, which is super cool. So take a look around. Is there a junk drawer that you can just dump out? Do you really need all that stuff? Are you keeping all of these receipts all over the place? Can you get rid of them? Or can you file them somewhere where you know where they are if they're important? Can you get rid of clothes that you have? And if you can't sell them, can you donate them and give them to someone who might need them? So take a look around in your environment and ask yourself what you can clear up, because I'm serious. This is going to give you so much mental space to be able to make the amazing changes you want to make. It's crazy how this works. So that was place number 1 where you can clear out. Okay, environment. It can be your house, it can be your work environment, it can be your car. I recommend starting with 1 and then building up from there. So whether it be a closet or a room or your car, pick 1 and then move from there. Place number 2 that is really important to clear out is your schedule. Because, like we mentioned in the previous episode, you don't have time for everything, but you do have time for the most important things. So when you take a look at your schedule and you're wondering, how in the heck am I going to fit in a workout 4 times a week, or planning out my meals, grocery shopping, all of these things that you want to do to improve your health, focusing on a course you're taking, classes, work, kids, whatever you have in your life, okay? Take a look at your schedule and really get honest about the things that you actually need in your schedule. So maybe you have a full-time job like I do, and you say, okay, I need to go to this full-time job. These are the hours I'll be there. These are the hours I'm traveling. What around that time do I need to plug in? It needs to be the most important things. For me, around my work schedule, it's spending time with my boyfriend and connecting with friends and building my business. So coaching my clients, building more material for them, recording podcast blogs, courses for them to be able to interact with. My personal development is super important. I'm always reading or listening to some kind of personal development, so I make time for that. And sleep, super important, because if I don't have sleep, I can't make decisions from the best version of myself. So sleep is a priority. Making sure I have meals throughout the day is a priority for me. So I make time for all these things. And I've really started to time block things that I need to get done, courses I need to make time for, groups I need to check into. And I have all these things categorized. And these will be different for you based on the priorities that you have. I recommend picking 3 top priorities that you have, maybe outside of your full-time job or your part-time job, whatever you're doing for work. Pick 3 top priorities that you're going to make time for in your schedule. Anything else outside of those priorities, you can say no to. And that might scare some of you guys so much, but I'm telling you, it'll give you so much empowerment to be able to say no to things. Ask yourself, if you're always doing the dishes every single night and you have a spouse or kids, can you delegate that task to someone else? Yes, I know it's scary to delegate tasks, but you need to remember that you do not have time for everything. You only have time for the most important things. And as you're trying to improve your health, you need to make time for that. So anything outside of those priorities, delegate or don't do them. Say no. Tell that friend you thank you for the invite to coffee, but I can't right now. Maybe catch me next time. And you can do it in a respectful way. It doesn't have to be this, no, I can't do this. I'm working on this, because that is almost like you're resisting it and you're creating this like resistance in your body. Like, oh, I can't do that thing because I'm doing this other thing. And that's not a place you want to be. You want to feel empowered about the decisions you're making. So really ask yourself what you can say no to in your schedules. Take right now, over the next 7 days, what is one thing that you can take off your calendar to make time for improving your health or improving whatever the goal is that you are setting out for yourself. Clear your schedule, okay? Make time for the most important things. That's how you will get the most done and experience the most change. And the last place that you can clear out is, and really bring up to date, is what this one's about, is your money, right? We talked about clearing out your environment and being able to sell things you no longer use. Super, super helpful when in this category where you're actually realizing, oh, I'm clearing out my environment, but I'm also bringing all of this into money that I can use towards other things in my life. That's pretty cool. And I started doing that myself. I started just selling all the stuff I didn't need and using that towards whatever goal I was working towards. At the time when I started doing this, it was using it towards vacations and taking different trips with my friends. And so that's what I was able to do with that money, which I wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't clear out the clutter. And another place too is your wallet. Money is like a fantastic relationship that we need to continue to build. It's just like a relationship with a spouse or a relationship with ourselves. It's a very imperative relationship, and we need to really treat money with respect. And one of those things that we can do is clear out our wallet. So take a look at your wallet. Is there a bunch of cards in there you never use? Is there a bunch of gift cards maybe you have in there? Because that's money, my friends, that you can use and maybe use for yourself, maybe use for a gift that you have to get. Is there a bunch of receipts crumpled up in there? Do you have money crumpled up in there? Take out all those receipts you don't need and get rid of them. Get rid of all the junk in there. If you have a bunch of change, maybe take that to the bank and put it in your bank account. Flatten out those bills if you have them any in there. So make sure that you're gathering up all that loose money and just putting it in the bank or storing it somewhere. You need to know where these things are, because that's just energetically going to make everything just flow a little bit better in your life. Okay, so bring all of your credit card statements up to date as well. And by this, I mean, do you know when your reoccurring payments are coming out? Do you know when Netflix is charging you every single month? Do you know when your rent is due and how much exactly that is, including online fees? Because I know I have an online fee. It's $6.95 every time I pay online, and I budget that into my spreadsheet. Trust me, I never used to be like this with money, but over the past few years, I've realized the importance of really understanding how much money you have in, how much money is going out, and when, so that you don't just find yourself in this spinning wheel of overspending and hoping that you make the money, and hopefully the money's there, and creating this crazy, crazy mess. So understand which reoccurring payments you have and when they're coming out. How much money do you have coming in that you know is coming in? And make an Excel document. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Mine literally says, what bill is this? How much is it? This is the date it's due. And I have mine categorized based on my 2 paychecks that I get. So I say, okay, this is what I get for this first paycheck. These are the bills that I need to take care of within that time frame of that first paycheck before I get my second paycheck. And these are the bills that are going to be covered by that second paycheck. So I have it really broken down by that, and I have it on Google Drive so I can look at it on my phone and say, okay, what bills do I have coming up that I still need to plan for? Okay, I need to keep $100 in my account for my car insurance and extra money. I also plan out my extra money as well, but just knowing that and really budgeting out your money like that and just being aware of when your money is going out, when it's coming in, is so important. Okay, so lighten up your wallet. Maybe sell some things that you're already getting rid of from your environment cleaning exercise and bring all that money up to date. Maybe you have someone who might owe you money. Maybe bring that up to date and bring it back into your life. Use the gift cards that you have or cash them in. Sometimes places will allow you to cash them in. So that is another really amazing thing that you can do to help get your life in order, is knowing exactly when and where your money is going and where it's coming from. and being really respectful of your money in that way. Because really the foundation of any kind of transformation, I always say this in all of my clients with all of my courses, is that the foundation of transformation is awareness. If you aren't able to take a harsh look, an honest look at where you're currently at with your money and your health and whatever it is you're changing, then you won't be able to move forward because you don't know where you're at currently. And from this place, you want to do it with curiosity. And the amazing thing about curiosity and finding this awareness in your life and where you're currently at is that there is no judgment. There is no judgment here. We are just taking a look at where we're at, what we need to clean up, and moving on from there. It gives us a foundation to work from. Okay? So, to go back over, clearing out the clutter so that you can energetically and emotionally and physically rise up to this new version of you starts with clearing out your environment, clearing out your schedule, only making time for the most important things, and also catching your money up to date and knowing where your money is going. Okay? So I hope that those tips can prove useful in you planning your resolutions and helping you make sure that they happen this year. I know you can do this. You have an infinite amount of potential inside of you every single moment, and I hope that these tips can help you tap into a little bit more of that. All right. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening into the Mind and Body Strong podcast. You are what makes this movement and message possible. Before you go, could you do me a favor and leave me a review on iTunes? This is how the podcast can be discovered by more people and impact even more lives. And don't forget to tag me in your Instagram stories at Katie Pijanowski so I can see what you're listening into. I love you all so much, and I'll catch you again on next week's episode.